Rwby Volume 5, Chapter 3, Unforeseen Complications. Victory lap. It was good. I wouldn't say there was anything that was like, I don't have any complaints about it, but I wouldn't say there was anything at the same time that made me go like, oh, well there was. No, that's a lie, there was. But, nothing, no like fight-wise or like music-wise. Not this general stuff that gets me excited about Rwby. Something I never thought that was going to happen in Rwby, but I'm definitely okay with. Let's get on with it. So, the first part, I'm going to split this into 3 parts. I'm going to talk about Blake, I'm going to talk about Rwby, and I'm going to talk about Weiss. So let's start with Blake. Blake's part, I like that a lot. It was different and it was good, and we got to see a different side of things. So, well no we didn't, you idiot. So, we got to see Gira basically step up a bit as ex-leader of the White Fang. So he was going to give a speech in front of everyone. They organised this speech, and everyone, and you know, he was nervous about it. He was like, you know, it's better people know the truth, but it's hard for people to accept the truth. And Sun, I thought was great when he was just like, you got this, man. And then they all just looked at him like, what the fuck? I was like, that's really nice of him. They haven't got on really that much, and now he's just like, hey, mate, you got this. You'll be fine. So Gira's speech was really good. It was genuinely a good speech to rally the people. It gave the people important points to know. At least it's a one up on the good guys, because on that scroll it had information that Adam was going to take down Sierra Khan. So at least when it's reported like Sierra Khan's dead and Adam's high leader, a lot of people can be like, I think you've done that, mate. I think you've done it. So he can't really hide it too much, and he can't be used as a martyr. That puts a bit of a hindrance on Adam's plans at the very least. And then he gave that great speech, just like, you know, when I was leader of the White Fang, this isn't what I wanted. And like, he even talked about Sierra Khan a bit, and he was like, you know, I can't condone her actions. Like, and it was great, because he doesn't say, hey, the White Fang are crap now, I just don't agree with what they're doing, but they've still got the goal, so I've got mixed opinions about it. Like, I've got a bit of check and pass with him, because he goes, you know, I don't condone what they're doing now, but I at least condone their goal still, which is that humans and faunus should be equal, like they should have been from the beginning. And like, of course he's speaking to a faunus crowd, and you know, he rolls them up and gets them on his side, a lot. Well, for most of the speech at the very least, and I thought that was good, especially because if he's based off Bagheera, which I think it's not confirmed, but it's kind of obvious, because in the Jungle Book at least, Bagheera is like a well-respected, like amongst all the animals, like Bagheera's are respected and trusted. Like, you know, like if Bagheera, like you listen to Bagheera, he's a source of like wisdom in a way, I suppose. And that's a good place for Bagheera to come from as well. You know, he's good at talking to people, and he gets people like on his side for his words. The only problem was, and he, you know, he got him riled up, and he's like, you know, we need to go show and snuff out this splinter group. We need to show that we are the faunus, and we should be where we are. And it was like, yeah, and I was like, go Bagheera, go Gira, rocking it, yeah. So, and then he goes, and the perfect way to show that is to go protect Haven, because we also learn that Haven is going to be attacked in a month, same way Beacon was. And you know, he does that in the speech at the beginning as well. He's like, you know, the fall of Beacon was a tragedy for all of us. Even like human or faunus, it was a bad thing that happened. It was not good for anyone. And that was a good point. But it's like when he goes, and we'll go protect Haven, everyone was like, oh, about that. I was like, no! Because, I mean, I get why, because Ilya shows up and she points out the points anyway, but I just feel like they could have, I just wanted them to, you know, I think it's just how he dealt with it. If he said, you know, there is an answer to how we can prove it, it's not an easy one. Like, you know, like the truth, like you said, the truth isn't easy, but it's the right thing to do. That's what he should have said, just like I've had to tell you this. It wasn't easy to tell you these things, but it was the right thing to do. Just like the right thing to do for us now is to go protect Haven. It's not easy for us to do, but it is the right thing. And I feel like this is what Blake's role is going to be throughout the arc. It keeps changing, and I'm sure she'll have some fights and she'll have some confrontations, of course. But this will be getting, like, the faunus on her side, you know, because obviously she says she wants to take back the White Fang and she's going to be the next leader, which is great, of course, because, of course, it's Blake. We don't have a problem with Blake at all. But it's just a case of convincing people, and I think this might be how it goes down. So I think her role is going to be to convince the faunus. We need to go help him, because it's not faunus versus humans, it's good versus evil. There's good faunus, there's bad faunus, there's good humans, there's bad humans. I mean, you got Adam, you got Tyrion, of course, on the dark side, and then not including like, and then of course, obviously you just got so many people on the bad side, good, who are Faunus and Faunus and humans. So that's going to be kind of Blake's case she's going to need to make. And then Ilya comes along, and she ruins, she pretty much jeopardizes the whole speech Gira made. But at the same time, it made me laugh at the very least. Blake looked really small on that podium. I get if they made it for Gira, she was just kind of like, I'm here to talk. But like Ilya, very cleverly, I will say, ruined the whole speech. She was like, you know, why should we help them? Like she said what no one else said. Why should we help them after everything they've done to us? You know, she used like general like big important actions. You know, when they hunted us just because of who we were. Who helped them when my parents were dying in a dust mine? You know, and that was a good point because it got them on their side too. And Sun, like, he had good intentions, don't get me wrong, but that's just going to mess it up even further because now they're all going to be like, oh, they're trying to shut her up instead of like free speech. If they at very least let her finish and then had a counter argument to her, then that could have worked. So like I said, still had good intentions, but I don't think it helped. The fact he tried to take her down didn't help. Yeah. So like I said, I think this is what Blake's role is going to be because she never got to speak. And maybe if she managed to speak as well after that, like I said, the forums would be on a different page. But of course, those two, Fennec and other guy, they're very happy about it, of course, because it's their master plan to get them all on the side of, you know, the Faunus are better than the humans and a massive war, and that's going to cause the Grimm to attack. But yeah. I think this is kind of what Blake's role should be now, is convincing the Faunus we need to go to Haven and help out. So, I just thought maybe, I didn't know who was going to meet up. To me, like, it's a constant roulette of who of Team Ruby's going to meet up. Will it be Weiss and Rwby? Will it be Blake and Yang? Will it be, but now I'm seeing more Blake and Rwby and Yang and Weiss. Of course, if Yang ends up going to Haven, she's going to meet up with Rwby. Weiss is still stuck in the Bramwen bandit camp. When Yang rolls up, they're going to meet up, of course, too. So let's talk about Rwby. So this was definitely the most light-hearted. I mean, it's still quite serious, but at the same time, it was Nora more than anything. So you got those guys kind of obsessing over, like, how did this happen? What's going on? And, you know, I think the thing was, like, Crow was like, okay, settle down, come on. We got some good moments there. And romance? That's too strong. So, I think it's only because when she sat down, like, Oscar kept looking at Rwby. To be fair, he's 14, and I think they're all 16 now. The rest of them. It's just a case of, you know, the Rwby community are very much like, yo, Oscar and Rwby. I don't have a problem with that. But equally, I don't have a problem if Rwby doesn't end up with anyone. But, you know, it's just because he kept looking at her, like, it's this kind of thing, like, is he going to start crushing on her a bit? I think that'd be a good point. I think that'd be funny. It'd just be a bit weird at the same time, seeing as we learned something. Kerry, I know you like Yu-Gi-Oh! But my god. So, a big point of this was we get to learn that Oscar can actually swap souls at the very least. Because Oscar has swapped personality. Basically, OZPIN's taking control. Oscar's still there, but OZPIN's now taking control. And I've got to give massive credit to Aaron Dismuke. I think that's how you pronounce his surname. Dismuke or Dismuke. He did really well because he had to go from Oscar to OZPIN, and very different and fairly different characters, you know. And we learned a bit about, and then, you know, there's that great moment where it's like, you know, I haven't met a man with two souls before, and I was like, I get it, it's because of the book that they mentioned. Ha! I get it. Just like everyone else did in Volume 4, and I only realised it now, oh dear. That was a good moment too, because we got to learn a bit more about OZPIN and, you know, his goals. So basically, you know, OZPIN has been doing this for many generations, and he's got history with Salem too, because he failed to stop Salem in the past. But the question, obviously, we're curious about a lot of stuff. What do you think OZPIN's past is? Because the thing is, he failed to stop Salem, but Salem hasn't done anything really until now. She's only starting to move the pieces now. So maybe, but she's also, at the same time, Salem's very much kind of, she's not scared of OZPIN. She despises OZPIN though, at the very least. I'm just curious as to which way it's going to go with their relationship more open. Maybe they were in a relationship. Was Ozpin the wizard who gave the maidens their powers? Because he's the Wizard of Oz? Maybe. And we got to learn that. We got some funny moments too. Nora basically brought the comedy this chapter. She was just like, it was like, we got little cutie baby Ozpin over here and we're gonna be fine. And he's like, please don't call me that. And he's like, we're not that fine. But we get to see, you know, he's, at least Ozpin's like, you know, I talked to Crow about your interaction with Leonardo. At the very least, he's not only is he, not following orders, he's just not following, like, he's not following orders, and it's a problem for us now. So something's happened to him, and I can't fully trust him at this point. I think that was a very good point of Ozpin. At the very least, I'm a bit sad because I wanted Leonardo to be like super undercover and be like, surprise, AK-47s, blah 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 blah. No, but it was, yeah, it was interesting to see that. So as we know, Ozpin knows this as well. We've got about a month until the attack on Haven happens, which I imagine will probably be the end of the chapter. It's going to be this final attack on Haven, and so Crow is going to be busy with teaching, not teaching, is going to be busy recruiting huntsmen, because obviously the teachers are gone, the students are gone, there's no one there to protect the relic. They're going to, No, it makes sense. So it's kind of the time where it'll be the most lax at the academy, because, you know, the huntsmen will come back the next day. It's been a bigger period of time since the attack on Beacon, so no one's really gonna expect it, I suppose, and apart from the guys who know. So Crow's gonna go recruit some huntsmen that he's like, hey, these guys, they'll put a good fight. Maybe we'll meet some new zany, wacky characters, or maybe we'll even see some returning characters. I don't know who. Because out of all the huntsmen we've only really met students, we haven't met actual huntsmen. So it'd be interesting to see where that goes at the very least too. Meanwhile, Ozpin and Oscar's body is gonna have a bit of a training sesh with all of them, and I really like this. I'm a sucker for training arcs. I really am, because I'm like, they're gonna go strong at the end. They're gonna learn a thing or two on the way. So Ruby's like, but we can fight already. And then he's like, you can only fight with Crows and Rose. You do not know hand-to-hand combat. And I was a bit like, but she's very ready without Crows and Rose. But it is true, at times when she doesn't have it, she at least needs some kind of self-defense, just in case she can't get there, because she's not always going to have Crescent Rose on her. Plus, it's almost to teach her a bit about the Silver Eyes. That would be a massive bonus too, because we can see that they do damage. But, he said to Jean, he was like, you have improved, and I'm glad to hear that, but you haven't mastered your semblance. So let's get on with that. Yes, please! Ever since, like, Pyrrha started teaching, I was like, Pyrrha's fine as a teacher, that's fine. He needs a master, he needs a mentor. Basically, if he's Naruto, he needs his Jiraiya. He needs his mentor there to teach him how to do things. And that is what Ozpin, I'm hoping, will do for him. You know, because Pyrrha's good, but she is a student. And as he very well points out, well, I was appointed the headmaster of Beacon. So, yes, I want to see, but at the same time, Jean is very kind of, like, when he's pointed this out, like, Jean kind of looks away and is a bit, like, ugh about it. So, that'll be, I think, his kind of point of this. I want to see his semblance, though, so bad! So, I'm very curious as to where it's going with Jean. Especially Jean, because he's the boy. Yeah, I'm just a bit disappointed, and then it was kind of like, and Ren and Nora too. Come on, you could have just put out something about Ren and Nora. I don't know what, because they're fighting machines, but at the same time, it would have been nice, because you kind of singled them out, and then you had those two. That was kind of a great moment as well, I'll talk about that. But it was like, you know, I'll whip you all into fighting shape within a month, and then, you know, we'll have to work with what we've got, and then you had them all lined up, and Nora just kind of like, just very disappointed. And then I was like, come on, just give Nora a shout. It's Nora. She has a giant hammer and a grenade launcher. But that was a great moment too. It was like, I'll rally him. When Crow was like, I'll rally him up. And then like the table guy was like, good luck with that. I was like, ah! That was a good joke though. See, Nora brought the comedy. It wasn't much, but it was nice. At the very least, yeah, and then he's got to get Oscar into shape as well, is what he said too. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be good. I'm looking forward to a good training arc. I hope it's interesting. I hope it's not too... I mean, like, they've got to cut between the different stories, I understand that. But at the same time, I like watching the training arcs. They're always interesting, so I hope we get to see some of that. On to Weiss! So Weiss has been captured by, obviously, the Brownwen tribe. And she obviously she wakes up in the cage. It's only a small interaction, but it's pretty good. I thought, like, you know, so Viral, I think her name was Vanal comes out, and the guards looking out, like, they're just kind of lounging around drinking booze. Though she comes out, she's like, oh shit. They're like, oh, she's here, so I'm guessing she's the Spring Maiden, because I imagine Weiss is going to try and escape. She's going to use the Knights, and then this is where we're going to see her powers come out. Only because, of course, in the intro as well, we saw her and Cinder kind of facing off from each other. I'm guessing that's the relationship between the maidens. I think, yeah. It's because, like, she came out and she had Weiss's sword. She was just kind of looking at it, and then I don't know. Weiss she was very much just like, you'd fit in well here, kid. And I'm like, would she? I don't know. You talked to her for 2 minutes. Maybe after, like, this confrontation they're probably going to have next week, I'd say yeah, sure, but a bit too soon. I didn't think it'd happen, but I would have liked a moment just like in Red vs. Blue, where Sarge has to hand Washington the shotgun, and he's like, just so you know, I'm going to want to take that back. Just like, just waving the Weiss and the sword, just like, just so you know, I'm gonna want the sword back. And then just eventually, so, of course, she at first is like, you know, you don't know? You know my sister, right? Winter. Oh, well, when she hears about this, she ain't gonna be exactly happy, is she? And then they're all like, Winter ain't coming for you. She's no longer in Haven. She's gone. So at the very least, we know Winter's not gonna find out about it. So I think that was their slight way of saying, probably not gonna see Winter for this for this volume. At the very least, not until the end of the volume. So that'll be interesting at the very least. But Weiss can still use her glyphs and make the little knight. So she made a little knight, and she's probably gonna cut him down, like cut down and open the bars at the very least. Sure, I'd like to see her fight off a bit. Maybe, sure, she doesn't have to get a sword, but at the very least, just to see how far she can go with the Ice Knights too. It's a cool power. But yeah, so training arc for Rwby and the Team Ranger, okay with that. Hopefully my boy Jean gets more of an upgrade too, because he started to with his cool new sword, and now he just needs to master his semblance too. Blake, please convince the Faunus, because we could do with that. And yeah, Weiss, have a good fight against the Spring Maiden, I suppose. And hopefully you meet Yang, and Yang's like, Yangarang! Alright, Yangarang. But yeah, that was it. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. If you did, give it a like. Talk to me about Rwby down below, and subscribe, because that's always a plus too. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next week at some point. Cool. Thanks, guys.